it's Lauren here. A warning, this episode contains deep chats, lots of swear words, and some things you might find upsetting, but you know that we cannot help but overshare.
Hi, it's Gemma.
And Lauren.
And you're listening to Oops, We Overshared Again.
A podcast all about oversharing because we just cannot help ourselves.
Hello, and welcome to the Christmas special.
Yeah, and we're doing this kind of, well, I say first thing in the morning. It's like 9 o'clock, but for me, I am not a morning person, so you're lucky.
For me, I have a toddler. I was going to say 2-year-old, but technically he's 3 tomorrow. I have a toddler, so even if I'm not a morning person, I have to suck it up and get on with it.
Oh my God, Gemma, you'll have a 3-year-old when this goes out.
Oh dear.
He'll be 3 in one day. How cute.
And well, for those of you that are watching, well, Lauren's been doing the last few anyway in front of her tree, but I'm downstairs in front of my Christmas tree.
Yeah, we're doing a little Christmas special because it's Christmas week. So we thought we'd be all Christmassy.
Christmas jumpers.
Yeah,
Christmas
mine says Santa's favourite hoe.
I've got a Mickey and Minnie.
It's a very different vibe.
Very different vibe.
You've got like a childhood classic, and I've got about being a hoe.
Ho ho ho.
I love this jumper, and I don't get to wear it very much. And I was really upset when I was a teacher on Christmas jumper day because I wasn't allowed to wear it.
I can imagine. I've got a light up Christmas jumper.
Have you?
Fun story with that. So I was this was years ago. I was at a work Christmas party, and the then bosses, one of them brought his brother-in-law. I was drunk. The brother-in-law was very attractive. So I was basically, I think maybe in my head, a lot sexier than I was in real life. Because considering how drunk I was, and when you see photos of the night, you think you were like Beyonce, but really you look like you're running around like Chewbacca on acid.
I mean, I'm sure that's not accurate, but continue.
Literally, I'm not even joking. I was drinking champagne straight out of the bottle with a glass of champagne in my hand.
Oh, nice.
It weren't a good look. Yeah. Anyway, this guy, we'll call him Cedric. So Cedric, very, very handsome he was. Well, then I say that though, with beer goggles on. I have seen photos of him after, and I was like, really? But whatever. In my head, I thought he was really fit. And he had this light up Christmas jumper on. And I was saying to him that I wanted this Christmas jumper anyway. I was being outrageously flirty and thought I was being sexy, really wasn't. My boss, because he felt sorry for me, bought me my own light up Christmas jumper because I made such a fool out of myself.
Oh, that's pathetic and very cute.
Literally.
Oh, that's so funny.
Thanks for the pity.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny.
And this, I wouldn't mind. This was like, I mean, probably best part of 10 years ago as well. But I still have it. I've never actually worn it. It's still got the tags on it, but I was going to wear it today.
I don't have a light up one. To be honest, I've always been a nice, the other ones I have that are like more classic Christmas jumpers. I've always had nice Christmas jumpers. Do you know what I mean? Like I've never had like the really tacky ones. But Steve has got quite the collection upstairs because he used to work at Argos and they used to do like a Christmas jumper day. And he used to buy a new one every year, and he worked there for like 13 years. So he has quite the collection of like the most outrageous Christmas jumper you could possibly find, which I'm like here for, to be honest. It's when we knew he was the one.
Is Argos still a thing?
I think so, but the one right near us has just closed down, which I find weird because Steve usually tells me these things because he thinks he still works there. And he knows all the people because he was a manager, and so they all know each other. He hasn't mentioned it. Like I keep forgetting to mention it to him, so I'm actually not sure.
Do you remember? Did you when you was a kid? Because I remember being a kid, we used to get the Argos catalogue, and you would circle what you want.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I used to be very specific. And if there was like multiple colours, I'd be like the blue one because I'm like, don't fuck it up, Mum.
Or do you know what I did as I got a little bit older? I'd have my Argos catalogue, and I used to get my mum to pick me up one of the little, do you remember the little bits of paper you used to write the catalogue number in? Yeah. Just so there wasn't any confusion.
Nice. Yeah, I used to write the codes in. But no, we have this in our lounge, and we've had this in our lounge for as long as I've lived here, and I hate it. But Steve will not allow us to have it out of the lounge. And it's an in a box Argos lorry.
Elliot'd love that.
This is what I say to him, it's for a child. But we're not even allowed to take it out of the box.
Was he gifted it when he'd worked there for 10 years or something?
I assume he was gifted it, in some scenario. I mean, it's a very old box. It looks like it's from the early 2000s, late 90s, but it's that lives in our lounge. But I have these, I mean, you can see them here. I have like these like little bits under our TV, and the lorry goes at the back and the one at the end. So you can only see it if you are Elliot.
Wow, ideal.
That kind of height is your limit.
You wait till you have kids, and then you'll be like, oh no, where's Daddy's special lorry? Oh, sorry, little Johnny decided they wanted it, and he can't even be mad because it'll be like, well, you know, your kid wanted it, so they had to have it.
Well, me and Steve play this funny game regularly. We go pottery painting sometimes with Mia, and he always paints. I try and paint something nice. I mean, we've got a gonk over there in the corner that actually, to be fair, I think Steve painted that. But normally, and I've got like a little elf door and stuff I painted, and I tend to do Christmas decorations because then they're not like in the way. That's one as well.
Cute.
And they only come out like a little bit. Steve decides to do like a bumblebee and paint it red and blue, and then he's like, "That lives in our lounge now." And I'm like, no, it doesn't. So we have this really fun game where I hide them, and then he finds them 6 months later, and then I'm like cleaning, and I'm like, that fucking bumblebee is on our bookshelf again. And it's just a great thing because nobody says anything, but it's like, it's a fucking blue. If you're going to paint something and you want it out all the time, firstly, grow some talent. Secondly, pick colours that the thing is. Really annoying.
Or you can understand if it's like, I don't know, if he loved the colour red, or if there was some sort of symbolism. I know some like...
Well, in fairness, I think red and blue are probably his favourite colours, but I don't think it goes any deeper than that, Gem.
Is that an eggplant on your tree behind you?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Oh, our Christmas decorations this year are so random. We've got avocado on toast. We've got our gonk. We've got these little ones. They're really cute and kind of creepy. But this, I saw this on Facebook like last year. Let me get Santa. I saw this on Facebook last year and was like, oh god, Mia's just fell off. And this woman was giving away these like old vintage wooden handmade decorations. There were 2 boxes of them on Facebook, and she was giving them away for free.
Cute.
And it was like March, and I was like, I'll be there in 5. Yeah, to be fair, she was actually given 3 boxes, but apparently some other woman messaged and was like, I'd like a box, and I got there first, so I got 2 and she got 1, and I was like, excuse me.
Wow.
What the fuck? So we've gone very random this year. Because in honesty, I've got really nice decorations, but I was really bored. I just feel like you put the same ones out, don't you, every year? And I was just a bit, I don't know, just a bit bored. So I thought, as I was growing up, I've always been quite tacky, but I've liked to think that I'm not. Whereas the older I get, the more I'm embracing the fact that I actually just am a bit tacky.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm okay with it.
I've got a friend, one of my best friends has got the most beautiful trees. And honestly, I mean, I will send you a picture of her Instagram tree. Like, she put trees on Instagram. They are like the kind of stuff like you see in like a magazine, or like if you go to like a garden centre and they're like, oh my god, it's perfect. And she had 2 trees in her house, and they both are stunning. And every year I'm like, can you come and do my tree? But I don't have all those fancy decorations. I mean, we only have... I've just realised the tinsel's dangling down. That's because Elliot fell in the tree last night.
Nice.
In my defence, he did throw himself into it. It's not like he just fell. Anyway, we haven't put half our decorations out this year because he's in a very... I'm going to throw my cars at the tree.
Yeah.
See if they'll stay. And then you're like, I've got all these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful glass baubles, and I'm not going to start putting them up to have them get trashed. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So, but yeah, but I love your tacky tree, babes.
I'm here for it. I'm a bit upset though, because I bought some like multicoloured tinsel that I purposely bought because it was like a bit tacky, and also because I've not got as many tacky decorations as I have nice ones.
Yeah.
I was a bit scared that it was going to be a bit sparse, which actually is around the side a bit. So I bought this tinsel, completely forgot about it until I put every single decoration on the tree.
Do you know what else would make it good next year?
What?
Multicolored lights.
And I actually wanted multicolored lights because Steve told me he had some, and can we fucking find them anywhere? No.
That's an investment for next year.
Yeah.
But if you go out, because that's a real. We've got a real tree this year, but we're going to go out in the like Boxing Day sales and buy a tree because apparently they flog everything like half price.
Yeah, that is the time to do it. 100%.
Literally.
100%. But yeah, no, yeah, I'm embracing my own attack. Do you have any like Christmas like traditions from when you either like grew up or even now with your family now?
One thing we do is which was weird actually. I always did this as a kid. Ben thought it was the weirdest thing ever. We always used to open a present on Christmas Eve, just one.
Okay.
And then the rest of them was you open Christmas Day. Ben thought that was the weirdest thing ever. I think, to be honest, he still does think a little bit weird. But we do that. We now have it's something not that we did, but Elliot has a Christmas Eve box every year.
Yeah.
But also, something I did from a kid, which I do now, is we've got like a cookies for Santa plate, which actually my mum gave me, but it was mine from when I was a kid, and it was from FAO Schwartz in New York.
Nice.
And we put out like a mince pie, a drink of some description for Santa, and then a carrot for a reindeer, and then you gnaw on the carrot. We should put a spoiler alert in case any young children listen to this, obviously. Just a thought. So then I'd come down in the morning, like when I was a kid, and I'd be like, like they've been, because like there's this like, you know, the remnants of little bits of carrot left. So we do that. I mean, Elliot's too young to understand, but it's fun for us. And I've got a photo of a year of me like with a carrot.
And it will be fun because he'll put it together that it's always happened when he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
It's very cute. We've never opened a present on Christmas Eve, but I do know people that have. But my mum now does Christmas Eve boxes for the grandkids because Kirsty has got 2 kids.
Oh.
So she's already started doing it.
Does she do you one?
She will do, yeah.
No, you. For yourself.
No, she doesn't do me one. She doesn't do me one. We never had one. We didn't have them as kids either. But no, she started it with Kirsty's because Kirsty's obviously got like her mum as well. But mum was like, I can't not do it for her kids and do it for your kids. And also like she's the first, so we have to start. Do you know what I mean? So she's kind of started the tradition early a little bit.
It's my mother-in-law that does Elliot. Well, my mother-in-law bought Elliot one, but my cousin, I'll show you. Obviously, only people. My cousin bought this for Elliot when he was born.
Look at that.
And it's, for those that aren't watching, it's like a beautiful wooden engraved box that says Elliot's Christmas Eve box. I don't actually know if my mother-in-law knows this. I don't think she listens, so we're good. But basically, she's got a box they give us, and I put it in there now.
Oh, fair enough.
Because my cousin bought him that. But my mother-in-law puts all the stuff in it. But it's cute, the stuff they put in, like jammies, a book, some chocolate.
Yeah, it's cute. It's a nice idea.
We never had, I don't remember anything like that though when we was growing up.
I don't think it existed. I think it's a newer concept, which is why we didn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not something that we ever did. But do you know, a funny story, I've got a friend called Jess, and Santa used to come around her house when she was a kid and like talk to her on Christmas Eve, and it was like a tradition that this man used to come around and like have a conversation with her. And I was talking to her about it, and I'm not even like, it was a while ago, but we were mid-20s, and I was having this conversation with her, and she was like, I've never known who that man was, and my mum won't tell me. And we were like having this like conversation about it, and I was like, well, was it like your granddad or someone? She's like, no, he was always there. And we're going through all these people, and then I'm like, it wasn't your dad, was it? And he was like, no, he was always out when he came. And I'm like, are we okay, Jess?
Oh, bless her.
I was like, I think it might have been your dad. The fact that he happened to be out every year. She was like, yeah, he'd usually just like happen to miss him. Like he'd nip out and then Santa would come round. I'm like, are you hearing yourself?
Oh.
Very cute. I clearly killed the dream for her. But I've decided Meredith will be amazing when we have kids, because Meredith's bell sounds like reindeers. So I'm just gonna like shake her in the other room.
Do you know something though? You just said something, reminded me there. So when I was a kid, I do remember my mum saying, like, you got to go to bed, you got to go to bed. And then I would hear sleigh bells. I wonder what she used to use.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know.
But
Maybe
do you know,
she just picked a random cat from the neighbourhood.
I convinced myself when I was a kid that I'd seen Santa.
Did you?
I did. And I don't know if it started as like a joke. I don't even know how it started, but I think sometimes if you tell yourself a lie enough, you think it's true.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think maybe it was like the mixture, because we used to have not every year, but we had one year someone, I don't know who it was, dress up as Santa with the sleigh bells and everything else to try and get us all to go to bed. And I don't even know. And it started off as a bit of a thing. And then someone said to me Santa wasn't real. And I was like, no, he is, because I've seen him. And then almost like, yeah, convinced myself that I'd seen Santa.
I mean, not being funny, but if we've learned anything from the last 2 episodes, you are kind of delusional.
Cheers, mate.
In the nicest possible way. That's
Actually,
really
I convinced myself I'd seen him.
My mum still won't tell me that he's not real.
Oh,
She still won't.
You know, the Christmas that I found out Santa wasn't real ruined Christmas for me forever.
Oh, it definitely does. It was a teacher that told me. I was in year 7, and a teacher, like, I kind of already thought it, but my mum, like I say, she still won't tell me. So I wasn't sure, and a teacher just was like, oh, obviously he's not real. And I remember it was a history lesson, don't know why we're talking about it, and I remember sitting there and thinking, oh, and that was like the first, and I remember like tuning out the rest of the lesson, because I was like, that was the first confirmation of it. But I mean, I was having this thought the other day. I haven't actually said anything to Steve yet, partly because he'll probably cry, but I realised earlier, this is probably our last Christmas with Mia believing, because she's in year 6. And so it's probably the last one that we really have where she's like fully on board, because there'll at least be conversation next year when she's at high school. And it's weird, but mum would never, we don't get presents from Santa anymore, don't get me wrong, but until I was like 20 odd, I did. And if I said thank you to my mum, she'd be like, why are you saying thanks to me for? It's not from me. What are you doing?
We've got a sack. I bought it from Etsy, actually. It's really, really cute. And it's it says like delivery from the North Pole. It's got Elliot's name on it. So we have like presents from us, and I put like a few presents in this sack, and then Christmas morning it will be there. But yeah, when I was a kid, I remember, I can't even remember who told, someone said to me Santa wasn't real, and I went home and I remember saying it was long, or I must have been young, because my dad was still at home and my parents broke up when I was 10, so I must have been like 9. And I remember saying to him, yeah, like, but this kid said like Santa's not real, and he's like, yeah, he's not. And I was like, what? He's like, he's not real. And I just remember feeling so devastated. And then I was just like, what is even the point? And I'll be honest, I didn't really, and then my parents broke up around Christmas the next year, so I mean, kind of shit time anyway. But and I didn't really like Christmas again until I was like a teenager, and every Christmas Eve I used to go and get pissed with my mates. And then when I got a bit older, my mum used to have a party every Christmas Eve, so it just used to end up being like fun in a different way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I don't think it ever ruined it for me. I don't remember ever being like super upset about it, but yeah, I don't know. I think I was more upset when mum stopped our fucking stockings. I was like, excuse me, hun, just because I'm in my 20s, what are you doing? And then my brother was like, Lauren got it for 2 years longer than me because she's 2 years older.
Oh, your mum stopped him at the same time?
Yeah, she stopped him at the same time. Because we were both adults. But it was yeah, I don't know. I don't ever remember feeling like that. But I do remember, and this wasn't from Santa to be fair, but I don't remember them when I was really young. I don't remember Christmas with my dad. And I was 8 when they split up, so it's not like it was really young. I do remember the couple of years after that, because I remember a couple of years at my auntie's, and we spent it at my auntie's before we kind of got settled. But partly because I remember I got a 3410 Nokia and it was cracking. And I was like, really excited. But yeah, I don't really remember it changing, but I do remember being in bed at our new house. So it was after the age of 10. I was probably 12 to be fair, 13 maybe. And mum had bought both me and Kieran TVs for our bedroom. And they were like, they weren't very big, but they were like the big, you know, like the box TV.
Yeah.
And I remember lying in bed and just hearing mum be like, fucking hell, these TVs are heavy. And I was like, oh, we got TV. Yeah, I remember that conversation. But I don't really, I was a little bit nervous though. And I think quite rightly so, because I was like, excuse me, hun, we're always taught about strangers. And all of a sudden you're telling me that some random man's going to come in my house in the middle of the night and we're all okay. Like, are we hearing this out?
Listen to the words of Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping.
It's a bit much.
He knows when you're awake. It
is a bit much. My cousin Connor, who is now like 27, but he was quite a lot younger than us when we were kids. He I know it sounds silly, but you know what I mean. The gap was bigger.
No, of course, he was like 4 years younger than you, right? So that's big. That's big when you're little.
Yeah. So he was always the baby. He's still the baby. It's really annoying for him because we've not had any kids or anything in our family for ages. So when we're like when we go around Nan's, my nan used to have a Christmas tree in the hallway, and on Boxing Day we used to go around and we used to be like, the youngest can go and get the presents one by one. And Connor, bless him, every year we're like, Connor, and he's like, I'm fucking 27, like why do I have to go and get them? And I'm like, you are still the youngest. But he was terrified of Santa to the point where we had this whole elaborate thing. What we were supposed to do is put his stocking in the car, and then we were supposed to leave the key to the car under the doormat and a note for Santa so he knew where to get the key, so we could put the stuff in the car so that he never actually had to come in the house, because he was so scared of like the concept.
Bless him.
And this was from like 5 years old, but he was so scared. But I'm like, rightly so, hun.
It's a bit creepy, isn't it? When you start thinking of it like, but do you know, speaking of creepy, that song, Baby It's Cold Outside.
Yeah.
Have you listened to the words of that of late?
No, not recently.
I mean, it's definitely giving me rape vibes.
Oh, is it?
So I watched a film called, it's like Love Hard or something like that. It was on Netflix. Good film.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Would recommend it. It's got the guy. Have you ever watched that Never Ever Have I Ever?
No, but again, I know what you mean.
That's a good series to get into. It's got the guy from that in it. So, Baby It's Cold Outside lyrics. So the girl's like, I really can't stay. And he's like, but it's cold outside. She's like, I've got to go. And he's like, it's cold outside. She's like, the evening's been, nice. And he's like, I'll hold your hands. They're just like ice. And then she's like, my mum's going to worry. And he's like, beautiful, what's your hurry? My dad. And he's like, listen to the fireplace. Everything she says, he's got to come back to. And then it gets a bit worse to the point she's like, I ought to say, no, sir. And he's like, mind if I move in closer? And then she says, at least I'm going to say that I tried. And he says, what's the sense in hurting my pride?
Oh yeah, it's a bit much, isn't it? It's a bit pressurized. It's a bit. And
then, she says, you're very pushy, And he says, I'd like to think of it as opportunistic. And then she says, the answer is no. And he says, but baby, it's cold outside.
Oh.
And then she says, my sister will be suspicious. And he says, gosh, your lips look delicious.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to open the door for Meredith, but keep talking. That's, yeah, like you say, that's a bit much. Absolutely. Do you know, it's so funny though, when you grow up, because obviously that's a good Christmas example, but there are so many songs where you listen to it as a grown-up, like even things like Grease Lightning, dirty as fuck. Grease Lightning is a fucking dirty song.
It's about sex, right?
It is anyway, but it's like, it literally says the chicks will cream. It literally says that halfway through the song. A lot. And we used to
I thought it's the chicks will scream. I didn't know cream or something.
It's cream. Google it. It's cream. And then we grew up listening to Alanis Morissette, because obviously it was like the 90s, and mum liked Alanis Morissette. She had her CD, and we used to sing that in the car. And now if you look at the lyrics of it, it's about giving head to somebody in the cinema. It's about I hope every time I scratch my nails down someone else's back, you feel it. It's a lot. And I said to Mum, I was like, we used to sing this as kids, and she was listening to it going, God, I'm such a bad mum. Yeah,
Do you know
what?
shall I read you some of these lyrics of Grease Lightning?
Hmm.
You know that I ain't bragging. She's a real pussy wagon.
This is what I mean.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's
You
cream,
are
isn't it?
supreme, the chicks will cream.
It's a lot. It's quite
Grease
graphic.
Lightning. I used to love that song when I was little.
Oh, same. A bit of this
I
action.
used to do all that, and in fact, my little party trick, like at discos when I was like 10, was to do the knee slide.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and my mum would always be really annoyed because I'd come home with like holes in my tights.
Do you know, it's funny you say that. And I don't know if it was a Christmas party or whether it was like a summer one, but it was a school disco. I was in year 6. And my mum had taught me that, what was that song? It was called like Hey Baby or something. And there was like actions to it. Can you remember?
Hey baby.
That's it, right? Yeah. So there's a bit where you go like this in the song. And it's if you be my girl, it's that bit where it does it. And I remember the teacher pulling me aside and she's like, that's really inappropriate, can you not do it? Which was a bit much, to be honest, because I was like 8 or 9 and I didn't know that it was do you know what I mean? Like, you made it.
Of course, you're just doing the actions, right? Yeah.
But then I remember it was really awkward because she was like, oh, and I remember there being like this conversation about it. I'm like, my mum taught me it. It's like a really awkward situation. But, you know, me and Mum used to every year, talking of things you shouldn't do. One of our traditions for Christmas, which we haven't done for a few years since she got ill, but we used to, well, I guess since we lived together, which happened to be that year, we used to, for the dining room, we used to have like a twig Christmas tree. And we used to go to the local woods every year. And we, in our defense, this is illegal. In our defense, we used to get ones that were already dead, that were like hanging. But we used to go into the woods with a saw and we'd be there like getting it. And it was at a place where a lot of football teams play football. So we'd be then like shoving it in the back of our car, like in between all the men coming out.
What are you shoving in the car?
The tree.
What?
So we used to go and we used to like saw down, like, but it was usually like, you know, like if something's like half snapped off, so it's dead, but it's still attached. So we used to like walk into the woods with like a full blown saw.
Was it one of them saws that had like 2 sides to it?
No, it was just a normal saw and it was usually blunt, so it usually took us fucking ages.
You know what I mean, though? The saws where they've got like 2 handles.
No, but it was a bit murdery vibes because we used to do it. And then we used to take it home, and we didn't do this in later years because we learnt our lesson. But in the earlier years, we used to spray paint it like silver or gold. And one year, our entire garden was silver. Oh. Like it went everywhere, and it was
like a white Christmas.
A really fancy like patio, you know, where it's like landscape, so it's like curved. And it was just silver for fucking ages. So yeah, we stopped doing that after that.
What does your mum do now if she's not got you to go gallivanting around the woods collecting trees?
Honestly, not a lot. To be honest, though, both of us have been so crap this last year. Another tradition that we have is we watch Miracle on 34th Street every year because either my mum or my dad video recorded it when we were kids, and we've watched it every year since then. We now obviously have it on like DVD and stuff, and actually I think it's on Disney. But it
is.
We haven't watched it. And I don't know when we're going to get a chance before Christmas. And we didn't watch it last year either. We've been so crap. But that is one that we used to watch that while we were putting the tree up. But now, because we don't do that together, we have to like find time to do it.
That's still cute though.
Yeah, it's a nice one that we always did. But we need to be better at it, really.
Yeah, I don't really have any traditions with I've got traditions with Ben and Elliot, but not with my bigger family.
It's weird when you start merging families, though, like you said about the Christmas Eve thing. Like in my family, Mum, partly because she just likes to savor it, and also she wanted to see us opening our presents, so we used to take it in turns, whereas Steve's family just all go in and just like open them. And so it's funny when you like come together, because then you have to like merge. You can't do both. You have to pick a way to do it, and I'm more controlling than him, so we take turns.
So when we was kids, that's just reminded me of this. So we would put the piles, so all the presents would come out from the tree, and we would have them in piles, and we would all sit round. And I'll never forget. So I've told you before, I'm the oldest of 3 girls, right? So me and my younger sister, so Courtney, the middle sister, would normally be the one to sort out the piles, right? And then we'd all open our presents. She would wait. But then she would want everyone to sit there and wait while she opened hers. But we're like, nah, mate, we're done. Presents have been opened. We want to go and play with our toys or whatever. She always used to get the right ump.
Well, my brother has got like a fear of opening presents.
What is it with your family and fears around Christmas? What is this?
He can't stand it for his birthday, for Christmas, for anything. Like, he will, if he could go in the other room and open them all by himself, he would much rather, but mum won't let him. But he really doesn't enjoy it. I think it's because he feels pressure of what his face should look like.
I must admit, yeah.
And I do get what you mean, but he really struggles with it. And he's the same with his birthday. He struggles giving and receiving gifts. I remember when he had a girlfriend when he was like 17, and he bought her flowers for her birthday, and he never gave them to her. She left and they were in the kitchen because he was so scared of like giving them to her. And he's always been like that. But I remember one year he went to Australia for Christmas, and he went traveling for 6 months, but he left early November. So on the 1st of November, we did a Christmas day so we could give Kieran his presents. But it was literally his worst nightmare because he was the only one opening presents. And it was just like a Kieran day, and he was like, "I fucking hate this." But yeah, he can't stand it. He absolutely hates it.
How funny.
He's like, please just give me cash so I don't have to open anything.
See, I go like a bit over the top sometimes. In that I worry that I'm not being grateful enough.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so I find I'm like, oh, thank you, a bar of chocolate. Just what I've always wanted. Like, as if someone's just given me a house.
Yeah, it is really.
I'm not so bad now. When I was younger, massively used to do that.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It is really, really awkward. I find it awkward because you are like, it is really hard to like show gratitude. I must admit, the year we had, it wasn't nice. It was a crap year, but the year of COVID, I didn't spend it with my mum. And in fact, we spent it on our own really, because, well, I was completely on my own. Steve had work. And so me and my brother spent the morning with my grandparents, which we've never done. We've been banned from my nan's house for Christmas Day since before Kieran was born. I think it was before Kieran, because I went round there and I was obviously like a toddler, and it was loud. I don't know if you saw my Instagram stories, I put a picture of me sat on that like giant present that was at my nan's house. I'll show you after. It's so cute. That was at my nan's house, and I think I was like a tornado, and my nan was like, please don't ever come round again. Please, like, never again. So we've never spent Christmas around my nan's. We usually go around on Boxing Day or the day after Boxing Day, now that I spend it with Steve's family on Boxing Day. But it was like tornado vibes. But so in 2020 we spent it around my nan's, because obviously me and Kieran aren't quite the tornado anymore, so it was okay. And it ended up being a bit of a blessing in disguise, because it actually happened to be my granddad's last Christmas, which we didn't obviously know. But yeah, we spent it with my grandparents, and then I ended up then my nan was like, it's lunchtime, it's enough, see you later. So then we went. Then
your nan sounds brutal.
So my brother was like, I'm just gonna go home, and then like I'll hang out with my mates, because a lot of his mates like go off and do their own thing in the evening anyway. So he went off, and I went round my friend Holly's with all of her family, and then Steve got home from work at like 8:00. So I came home, cooked dinner for when he got home. But it meant that all the presents from mum, like the majority of the stuff that I had to open, I didn't have to worry about that like reaction thing, because they were just here. So in that sense it was easier, and I'm sure my brother preferred it, but it was still crap. It was a horrible Christmas.
Yeah, that was, I can't remember what I did that Christmas.
I think you could spend it with a family, but my mum and Graham, because of cancer, were both shielding.
No, I tell you what happened though for us, because Elliot's first birthday was the 20th of December 2020, and we was meant to have a load of family come over, but we went into that tiered lockdown thing.
Yes. Yeah, you were only supposed to be one family.
But we were in a high tier, but they announced it just before.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was just us.
To be fair, we were only supposed to spend it with one family, and I broke the rule, because obviously, I spent it with 3, because I did Christmas with my nan, and then Holly's family, and then like me and Steve.
Yeah. No,
Ben's supposed to be one.
Ben's family, I can't remember the ins and outs of it. I think his sister got his sister's, because it was weird back then, right? If like, you know, you got pinged or something, wasn't it? I can't remember now.
Yeah, there was some. Yeah.
It was like if you got told you'd been within contact of someone for a period of time, you had to isolate and all that shit, didn't you?
Mhm.
But at that point, I'm sure it was something like his sister's best friend at work or something had COVID and she couldn't, whatever. So we didn't go there. But I remember we did do a drive-by to drop, because they live like 45 minutes away from us. We drove down there, didn't go in, but we just dropped their presents off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird time.
Well, weird. Well, weird.
Yeah.
Even 21 was a bit weird for. Oh no, it wasn't actually in the end. It was going to be, but it was all right. But no,
We had an awesome Christmas last year.
it's going to be a lot quieter for us this year, because last year we had everyone here. We had Steve's family and my family. And this year we've only got mine, but also Graham, my stepdad, may or may not be here. We still don't know. I realize Christmas is on Sunday and it is now Monday. We still don't know. He doesn't want to upset anyone, so he's just not making a decision. But it's like, we really don't care. You just need to tell us. It's whether he spends it with us or whether he spends it with Kirsty in Wales.
Okay.
And I don't
what will your mum do?
Mum's going to come here regardless. But she's even like, I don't care, Graham, it's one day. I completely get if you want to spend it with your daughter and your grandkids. Like,
yeah, go for it.
That's fine, go. But I think he doesn't want to upset anyone, so he's just not saying. So the other day when I was there, I was like, what are you doing, Graham? Because I was like, I need to know because of food. So I'm like trying to like spur.
Yeah, trying to get him to make a decision.
He's not making a decision. So it might only be me, Steve and Kieran. So it's going to be, even so, even with Graham, it's going to be a lot smaller.
Yeah, it's just the three of us.
Nice.
Same as last year, but we've unless that changes, but yeah.
That's nice though. I think when you've got kids, it's not, do you know what I mean? It's nice to have that. Just you guys.
Yeah. We might go away next year.
Oh, nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah. But yeah. I need a wee.
Do ya?
I'm gonna have to go for a wee. I'm literally trying to hold it because I'm sat on the floor.
Go for a wee.
You're gonna have to wait a minute, soz pal.
I'm not even gonna cut this out, Gemma. I ain't got time to edit.
No, you've got to cut it out, Lauren.
I'm not gonna.
Do it.
It's fine. It's absolutely okay. I'll keep everybody entertained. So, love to know what your Christmas traditions are. Do let us know, because Gemma's currently having a wee. I'm definitely not cutting this out. I mean, you know, because you're listening. So I just got nothing to say. Christmas music. What's your favourite Christmas music? What's your favourite Christmas film? Want to know all of this information, please let us know. In fact, I'm going to do some stickers on the Instagram, some question stickers, and you can answer the questions so that we know what your favourites are, because I'm very intrigued and would actually genuinely really like to know. Not just because we're trying to fill time while Gemma goes for a wee. I don't have a favourite Christmas film or a Christmas song, because I just like all of them, which is problematic for the question. What's your favourite part of a roast? What meat do you have on Christmas Day? Do you have turkey or do you have something different? We very rarely have turkey because nobody in our family actually really likes it. It's quite the predicament, really, to be honest. Although Steve's mum did a turkey last year and it was really nice. Maybe it just means we can't cook a turkey. But I need to go shopping on Thursday and buy all of the stuff. So I do need to make a decision. So if anybody's got any thoughts on that, that would be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you so much. Also, what are people having for pudding? That's another thing that I'm struggling to make a decision on. My mum has offered to make like a sticky toffee pudding. We're still talking because we're not cutting. So my mum, I'm asking for meat suggestions for Christmas Day and also what people are having for dessert. So my mum has offered to make, I'm not going shopping until the next day. My mum has offered to make a sticky toffee pudding. So I might take her up on that. And it's actually Steve's favourite dessert anyway, so I feel like that goes down well. What are you having for dessert, Gemma? On Christmas Day?
I mean, I don't know.
Oh.
Who does all the cooking in this house? I don't even get involved in the food shop anymore.
Do you have a starter?
I mean, I can ask.
Do you normally have a starter?
I can't remember what we had last year.
Oh.
We have like an array of food. I know he was banging on about, we've got, because we're vegan.
Yeah.
We've got a fake turkey, which essentially is like a giant chicken nugget.
Is it nice?
Like a giant chicken nugget.
Fair.
I don't actually like the fake meat though. I have like the potatoes and the veg and everything else. But Ben also does like a portobello mushroom, but with stuffing in it.
Nice.
That's very nice.
I'm not a big fake meat person either. I'd rather just not have meat. But
Same.
I don't mind pork. Like I don't mind the like sausages, but I don't really like the fake chicken and stuff like that. But I don't mind anything that's like supposed to be pork or like sausage, especially.
I don't think there's much because I think if you go with processed meat, like sausages and burgers and stuff, I don't think there's that much in it, to be honest with you. But then I suppose you're using the same herbs and spices and everything else.
I tell you what, what is supposed to be very nice as meat, sausages and things like that, or burgers or anything like that, because they are filler. Apparently, they're obviously more expensive, but if you go for the gluten-free ones, they're a lot better because that's what the filler is. So they are more just meat if you buy gluten-free.
Yeah, but I'm vegan, so I don't.
No, I know, but I just mean for anybody that's listening.
Oh, of course. I forget we're doing a podcast sometimes. I think we're just chatting shit to each other.
No, that's right. But I actually prefer vegetarian sausages, or I'll eat chipolatas because I don't like the skin.
Chipolatas always makes me laugh.
But chipolatas don't really have skin on them in the same way, so I don't mind that.
A skinless chipolata.
I hate skin. It's disgusting. It's actually minging. I'm like a child when I eat because Steve will be like, he takes the mick out of me because I literally like hollow the sausage out and it's just left with the casing of the sausage because I'm like, I actually don't like it. It's minging. It's disgusting. But yeah,
no. Well,
we've actually, very quickly before we go, we've got a Christmas party to go to. As well. We're fully doing Christmas, to be fair, and together.
We are.
Which will be nice. And
so nice.
God, it's annoying that your name doesn't begin with a fucking A or an N. So here, have a hug. But do you fancy changing it? Your name?
Yeah, I'm thinking I could change it to
something begin with an A or an N. Let me know. And so we're gonna get all dressed up and stuff. So we'll put some pictures on the Instagram.
We will. And we would love to hear what you would like us to chat more shit about next year.
Yeah, because we're going to take a pause. Obviously, it's Christmas, but we will be back for series 3 next year. Any guests that you fancy us getting? Anything like that? Anybody you want us to bring back? Any of that stuff? Like, we're totally open to it. And also, please answer all of the questions that I asked you in our intermission.
Did you actually fully talk shit while I was having a wee?
Oh, absolutely.
For fuck's sake. This is the problem with you editing this.
I ain't got time to edit. I'm going out today. Tomorrow, I'm busy and we've got Mia. Wednesday, episode goes out.
Well, what can I say? I need to work on my pelvic floor a bit more. I nearly pissed myself.
It's authentic. It's fine.
It's either I piss myself or, well, I've just said all this now as well, which makes it even worse.
Well, thank you for waking me up this morning because
no worries.
I'm ready for the day. And yes,
Merry Christmas,
everybody. Have a wonderful day. Or if Christmas is a hard time of year for you, I hope that it is okay. Because that is a thing as well.
Christmas can be shit, especially, and I stand by this, we are forced to spend extended periods of time with people we wouldn't normally, or people that we don't necessarily want to.
Exactly.
All feelings are valid.
All feelings are valid. And you know what? Meredith has just walked in the room. Meredith, can you come here, sweetie? Because I just want to end on a reindeer note. Are you ready? Can you hear it?
No.
Oh, she's shaking. You can hear it. This, by the way, is the cat that played football with a dead mouse around my lounge yesterday. It was really nice. I looked down and was like, she's kicking a dead mouse across the room. Anyway, I think she's farted as well. That really smelled. Anyway, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye, everybody.